Welcome to Belfast, brothers.
Son of an Orangeman, loyalists, nationalists, we've got all the kinds.
We've got them all. We've got the Republicans, the Nationalists, the Loyalists, the Sons, the IRA. We've even got the kiddie fiddlers or kiddie stealers.
Aye, and that is in fact, who's that?
The big man.
Well, Cammy Hayes is dead, so it's not quite him. But anyway, guys, we kick off the episode with Jax, Clay, a few others, right? So we've got a few members of Sam Bell. Gemma is in a truck alongside Geezer. Oh, Geezer. What a guy. Some other guy, I can't remember his name.
You heard the lady, Lufer.
Right. But no, it gets me. These guys are, like, so we're to assume they're on their way for where? Larne?
Wherever they got off the boat. Yeah,
but usually like the Stena line we go to Belfast. See, we're breaking this down far too much. But the point is, where the fuck are they meeting them in the countryside here?
Unless it went to Dublin.
No, because he meant this. You do not get a boat for Stranraer to Dublin, you dotic cunt. Alright, I had to get fucking said. These Yanks don't I? But I know.
Yeah, I know, but like, where else would you go? Larne, that's pretty much it. Larne.
Or Belfast.
Well, it's definitely not Belfast, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But so there's no real country road from Larne, is there? I mean, you would just be on the motorway, really, or the dual carriageway. It's like...
they're trying to keep a low profile.
Well, there you go then. They probably did go off from Larne.
There you go then.
And they're taking these wee back routes.
That's alright, but then...
On borrowed Harleys.
Right, wait.
Did they really need Harleys? Why didn't they just all jump in the back of the van?
Because it looks like jobbers, that's why.
Oh, that's true.
Anyway, right, so we'll get big fella. Where the hell are you now?
Clay would have probably rather rode in the van. Those hands are crippled.
No, he probably would have, like, but we've got big fella blasting as well. Going through the Northern Irish countryside, and guess what? It's no Irish, right? It's Northern Ireland, isn't it?
Northern Ireland.
Big difference.
Well, I'm going to assume they're in Northern Ireland here.
No, they are. They're absolutely in it. Well, we see signs that say Ballymena, right? That is in Northern Ireland, not Republic. But I think we get I think this is one of the more underrated scenes of the show, because you actually get like two charters mixing, and it's like first nine. I feel like Sam Bell is probably third in terms of like importance to the Sons of Anarchy universe. I feel like Sam Dino, with the amount of focus they've got in Mayans now, they probably just go above Sam Bell. I'm not saying I prefer them, but I feel like in terms of like actual screen time and like shit going down,
I'm actually going to disagree, because I feel like Sam Dino aren't really relevant. Yeah, they're against the Mayans in a war, but it doesn't mean anything. Sam Bell was the pipeline. Sam Bell was the one supplying the guttons. I mean, you take Sam Bell out and SAMCRO are fucked, really.
Yeah, but what's Sam Bell doing? See, apart from SV Season 3 experiment, mate, McGee wasn't doing hee-haw.
McGee's on board.
Yeah, McGee is on board. We get a good...
Well, yeah, I would put Sam Bell above Sam Dino.
No, I would too, but I think just in terms overall, like, Sam Dino have got a lot more screen time.
Aye, on a shiter show.
Yeah, but also, it's not... Well, so Packard didn't exist in Sons?
Plus, Sam Bell was actually playing a major role in these episodes.
We'll put it up for a vote then.
Sam Dino plays a bit part... Oh, they're in a war and
There's 2 episodes of the Mayans left, alright? You never know what's going to happen. Anyway, we see Chibs, he reunites here with his...
little nephew.
His nephew, Patrick. Like, the way he hugs
him. It's a Catholic name, like...
Oh, there is no disputing it. It is a Catholic.
He's not one of the loyalists, that's for sure. We've got 2 sons of an Orangeman. It's no him. I can guarantee you that.
He's like, we got Fiona and Carrie Ann under Father Ashby's protection at St. Matthew's Rectory. That was a mouthful. But yeah, you know what? It was
last time I seen this wee shit, he was wearing nappies.
Clay asked about O'Neill again. Well, no, it was actually McGee that said to Clay about O'Neill about this. And then, yeah, we don't quite get the intro yet, but I feel like we need to go into the 3 facts because we completely glossed over them. But anyway... Fact number 1, we've got intro change. I like the intro.
I like the wee Irish theme to it.
Yep, can't dispute that. Fact number 2.
I mean, it's not a massive change, but it's changed nonetheless.
I like the fact they did it though. Fact number 2, SAMCRO leave the States for the first time. And fact number 3, first member to give up his patch voluntarily. What's that all about?
Voluntary,
that's what I said. Oh, you know what, I actually do not like getting interrupted when I'm right. You know, you like those apples, big man? But Tig thinks he's right. He's sitting in a charming police. I'll be dead before I get that thing back, brother.
Yeah, no, Ansel takes it. You can't ride for 2 years.
I wonder if they factored in the fact they'd be in jail. So, not quite 2 years, 14 months, but maybe it was like 2 years. But on good behaviour in your wee driving school, you can get it down to 14 months. I don't really recall Tig actually being on a bike after this, but I'm going to assume he is. I'm going to assume because the Charming and Unser soon become back on the tits of SAMCRO that he just gets his driving back. No, I think so. I feel like at this point this is Unser trying to prove a point rather than it's actually legit. No, I think so.
Oh, Unser steps down soon anyway, so probably not.
Yeah, but I'm sure he could take it out. In season 4, Tig's driving. He's riding.
Yeah, because he got the time skip.
Aye, but it's no 2 years, mate. So therefore, Unser has already put this to bed. It was his first call of action.
Well, maybe good behaviour gets some time shaved off you, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we've got the Sam Bell there leading the way. We've got Clay and McGee going through the countryside. They're taking like the most back way out the road entry into Belfast, aren't they? And then there's a roadblock up ahead, the PSNI, and then he's like, "Oh, random stop. Just show him your passports and wave, brother." Now, I'll be honest, right? You do not get these checkpoints in Belfast, but let's be real. This was a corrupt one, so maybe this is legit. Who knows? McGee says to the PSNI, "Just showing our American brothers the beautiful Irish countryside. Gentlemen, identification. You.
He signalled it. How did he know? How did he know to signal all the Americans?
Because they weren't wearing patches. That's why, mate. Pay attention. Chibs then gets pointed to. Chibs then stands up, takes his shades off, looks at the top man right in the fucking eyes and goes, "Dirty loyalist bastard."
Wait, hold on. The entire SAMCRO don't wear patches the entire run in Belfast.
They're trying to lay low, you fucking dick. They're not going to bring their patches. What do you think they were wearing the Redwood original cuts?
I can't remember them not wearing it actually. Aye.
They throughout the whole.
Well, Jax is like the only way this layer is coming off my back.
Yeah, well, that's a bit different, right? He was getting disrespected by a Mayan here, not going on a suicide mission to get his son back. But yeah, for anyone wondering here, well, why was the insult for Chibs here so bad, dirty loyalist bastard? Well, what he really means by this is that the police are in the favour of the loyalists, which is the other side of the IRA. And IRA, of course, Catholics, nationalists, so that's where it comes from. But I like the fact that he brought this in, Kurt Sutter, right? Even though 99.9% of Americans will not understand this, looking back on this show, you cannot say he didn't try with this.
100%.
And for the character to say it makes complete sense for it to be Chibs. Guy who was in the IRA was.
Well, who else is going to say it? Like, no one else has got the fucking connection. Why is someone else going to? Why is Jax going to turn around and call him a dirty loyalist?
Yeah, no, they could have.
No, you don't know.
They could have given it to a pish Sam Bell member, but they gave it to Chibs.
But they're not being interrogated.
Well, you know what? Maybe.
Well, why would they give it to Sam Bell? Because apparently they've got 2 sons of Orangemans in their club, so 2 loyalists. So I mean, why would they be?
Why is Chibs wanting their help when they're tag teaming with the Orangemen?
You seem to know everything, so you tell me.
Well, I tell you, knows everything. Geezer knows everything. He's like, no, these cops are just going to throw him in a ditch and shoot him. Fucking leave him. So yeah, Geezer thinks SAMCRO is going to get wiped out here.
Well, that's because there was a brawl and Chibs spat on the guy. Like, they didn't just be like, right, I'm going to round you up and kill you.
Well, they were never going to kill them. He was always just going to round them up and deport them. That's what Jimmy wanted. Even though Jimmy very easily could have killed them, Geezer says they'll probably end up killing them, which Gemma's obviously. Did he think Gemma's just going to sit here in this car? Well, he's like, they're just going to drop them all.
Well, why is he going to more importantly, why is he going to let them do it? He's actually a club fucking member.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Like, I mean, at least you could argue with McGee and O'Neill, even though they're a bit corrupt at this stage. They are having guns pointed at them. This truck doesn't really have a gun pointed at them, but anyway, Gemma's like, "Run him off the road! You heard the lady, Luther." Luther's in the front.
Yeah, Geezer's in the back. Geezer's the man that tells Luther to run them off the road.
You know what? These 2 guys are great. We ranked all of Sam Bell. I think we need to put that up again in a post.
Luther's like, "I'm not going to run them off the road." Gemma takes the wheel.
Broadside any no geezer PSNI.
Gemma takes the wheel, drives into the police, and then they crash. And when they get out, Luther jumps at the car and starts shooting at them. So it's like, hold on, you're not gonna run them off the road, but you'll fire bullets at them.
Maybe it was a rush of adrenaline from SAMCRO get freed from the back of the PSNI truck, the meat wagon, so to speak, and Jack's like, "What the fuck was that?" And Patrick's like, "Welcome to Ireland." Down now, then we get the wee Ireland intro. And you know what? I think probably one of the stronger intros to an episode. 4 Sons.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I feel like that. I feel like it was more or less done perfectly to introduce a new country, a new location, and their arrival upon.
Gave you danger and threat straight away off the bat, so I like that.
Yep, exactly. We then see the sons interrogating the police lieutenant. We get Opie, Jax, and Clay like interrogating this guy. It kind of feels weird that they're the ones doing it and not Sam Bell, but I guess you could say they're the ones that've got the beef with Jimmy. Jax then tells Happy to kill one of his men. He's like, "Oh, I'll tell you, I swear I didn't." I was like, "I didn't get a name. It was just money." It's like, "We know where you live, Charles, and we're gonna kill you." Because see SAMCRO, they know exactly where he lives. BT16, that's where Big Charles live. What do you make of this scene?
I'm sure they could get a map, like, if they really wanted to. Or just ask McGee.
But McGee's in bed. I know they don't know that, like, but O'Neill lied to you. That means Belfast could be in dead with Jimmy. Chibs thinks Jimmy is behind the move, and yeah, Luther kind of backed that up by saying there's no way they could have got the intel that quick. So obviously,
No way they could have got the intel that quick.
No way, Jose. Police service, Northern Ireland. There's that many quotes of the episode, man. It could be any of them. We then cut to the Charm police station. Jacob Hale confronts Unser. He's like, "We've both lost men, good brothers, due to the Sons of Anarchy, man." Hector Salazar walks in, and he's like, "The Sons killed Bozo." And don't guess me, right? I've seen the previous episodes. I don't think we actually picked up on this. He said in that bathroom stall, there was like 50 of them in it. He said to Alvarez, like, these son of a bitches killed Bozo. But Alvarez is the one that ordered the Sons to do it, and it would make them good. Obviously, Salazar wasn't privy to that, but did you not find that a bit weird? He came out and said that.
That's because he was a witness, wasn't he?
He was the guy that did the shootout. Obviously, he was going to make a deal to get off.
Was he?
Yeah, that's why they killed him.
So why is your man got an issue with him?
I don't think Salazar knew he was a rat, but Alvarez was afraid of him ratting, so
Alvarez was afraid. That doesn't mean he was going to do it. I don't think he would have talked.
Alvarez, what are you talking about?
You just said Alvarez thought he could rat.
Yeah, so Alvarez got the Sons to kill him?
Yeah, but I don't think that doesn't mean he was going to rat. Just because Alvarez thinks it, that's not the be all and end all. I don't think the guy didn't.
They got wind that he made a deal. You need to go back to episode 6 to know what you're talking about here, Chief. But anyway, the boys, SAMCRO, Sam Bell, pull in to the Ashby Alley. We're here in the Short Strand. We get NI, we get Ireland members, Dunglow members. We're all reuniting here. And then we see Trinity and Maureen like walking out the back of their shop, and he's like, "Is that Jackson?" He's like, "Must be, has to be." Maureen's like, "Welcome." Clay and Jax are like, they're very open to this, like a warm welcome to Ireland. And then Gemma's like, "I don't want any goddamn tea. Where the fuck is my grandson?" I feel like Gemma is being a bit disrespectful. Just showing up and like thinks everything's going to be. But you could argue this stems from like just finding out about Trinity, and she's like a bit pissed about it. But
yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, they've come to Ireland for fucking Jax's son. They haven't come for a wee cup of tea and all this stuff.
Yeah,
let me get you settled. Like, should Jax, when he not have got there, should he not have been like, "Right, where's my son? Who's got my son? Who do I need to speak to?" See this, sit and he'll come to you. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, and
should Jax and Clay not have been saying to like McGee, "Look, you know who's got him? Take us to him right now." Simple as that.
I guess so, but I think they're just trying to give you the order that here we're in the IRA's home territory here. We can't fuck them off, sort of deal. But who knows? We then have like a chapel between Sam Bell and SAMCRO. Nothing really happens here because just busts in with his handguns like, "We got visitors." Then the Casey brothers show up.
Well, no, before O'Neill tells them that they should go and speak to Kellen if they want to know more about Jimmy, then McGee says Kellen won't explain, he won't tell you much information about this, he won't say anything about his IRA brothers, and that calling out Kellen will get you an ass kicking from the Caseys. It's
like the Caseys.
It's fucking two guys. Trying to tell me
Just was about to drop.
He's trying to tell me SAMCRO rock up, man, and the Caseys are going to destroy them all.
Yeah, I think they almost built up the Caseys as these two like indestructible forces, and I think Jimmy O takes good care of them. But you know what, this was a good reunion between Chibs and his family. But at the end of the day, like we talked about during the review, like Chibs kind of jobbed out his daughter, has he not? I know he's been excommunicated.
What do you mean we talked about it in the review? This is a review.
We talked about it in the during the episode. You get me though?
Yeah, it's like
let's be real, right? Let's call
very
it. Jimmy O's been a better father than Chibs.
well, we don't really know that, do we? He's been there, he's been present.
He's provided for her. You try to tell me Chibs' fucking club money's been going back to Belfast?
Well, Bobby's club money goes to his ex-wife and their kids' fucking medical bills.
I don't think Chibs' does.
Where's Chibs' money go then?
I don't know. Jameson, fucking hookers, I don't know. I need to take it out with Tommy Flanagan.
Tommy, you not be paying child support there.
Point is, I don't think he is, but, you know, a good wee scene. You've got, like, O'Neill clutching his heart here at the thought of seeing Chibs with these two. Kerry Ann and Fiona. Kerry Ann's got a massive chin. You pointed this out, and I just could not unsee it. She does.
Yeah, it's
maybe that's
massive.
why he wants nothing to do with her.
Maybe
He didn't mate with Buzz Lightyear, so.
But it was an awkward reunion because when was the last time Chibs seen his daughter?
I'm going to assume it must be like near enough since birth.
And it's like he's like, all right, how you doing? It's like she doesn't fucking know you.
I believe Sam Bell gets set up in the late 80s. We're in 2008. I don't think she is over the age of 20. So I'm going to assume
she's under 18.
Yeah. So because Jimmy's comments. So I'm going to assume that she must have been born.
I think she's supposed to be about 15 or something like that.
I think it would make sense for 2008, 9, 10, that region. It makes sense that Chibs has probably been in America for 15 years.
Has he been back since then? I don't think so, because Jimmy kicked him out basically. So I think it's fair to say that Chibs probably hasn't been back in Ireland
since
then. So we could be. Let's say at least.
Imagine doing a Chibs character spotlight. I mean, there all day.
We'll go with at least a decade. I think that's a fair number.
He hasn't been there since the 90s.
So at least a decade.
The Good Friday Agreement, Chibs.
At least a decade.
Yeah, that's what we're going with.
At least a decade, right?
At least a decade. I'm all for that.
I just don't know why he thinks this Kerry Ann's gonna throw her arms around and go, "Oh, great to see you, Dad. I've missed you." She doesn't even know who he fucking is.
Exactly. She does say that Jimmy basically spends all his time in his bar in Newry and that she's
recruiting
youngins. Doesn't really know if O'Neill has actually joined the dark side or not. Back to Charming, of course. We've got the Job Squad. We've got Piney. We have got Kozik, Miles, Shepard, Tig. They pay a visit to Lumpy's gym. Lumpy says about the whole fact that Darby paid him a visit, of course. That happened in the last episode. Well, no, this episode. But
happened in this episode, but Darby didn't go through with it. Darby's
but Hale went to Darby.
Yeah, Darby told him to sell up, but he's like, I ain't selling up. And
Go
Darby's
retire with the rest of the old Jews.
Yo, if you don't take this money, someone else is going to come back and they're going to do something worse than I do. Lumpy's like, I'm okay with that. Darby then throws the money back at Hale. He's like, get someone else to do your dirty work.
I think as far as a neo-Nazi goes, I think Darby's probably the nicest you could probably get. I feel like he's...
I mean, most Nazis getting offered money to fucking beat up a Jew, they would have well took
an
this
actual
deal.
Fucking like, yo, I was an Auschwitz Jew.
I mean, they would have well took this deal.
Yeah, I know. And he's actually letting him take the easy way out. You know, I like Darby. I feel like Darby's a pretty underrated character. We then see Kozik and Tig have a boxing match at the same time. Is this? We did have like Sam Bell fighting, but we may as well just talk about the Charming stuff first. Kozik baits Tig into this. You think, oh, is Kozik going to get some form of revenge? No, he gets his fucking ass kicked.
Yeah, after the fight, we see Kozik. He's busted up and he's bleeding and all this shit. And then you look at Tig, and there's like not really a mark on him. Didn't even look like Tig was fighting.
No, he had like a wee bit of like a bloody nose, Tig, but Kozik had cuts like in like 5 different locations, man. On his face, it was mental. But now it's time to drive Kerry Ann and Fiona back to St. Rectory's, damn it, St. Matt's. Let's do it. But guess who attacks them? The UVF, radical loyalists. See, at this point, the UVF could have just wiped out half of the Suns cast.
How crap would that have been?
I mean, you have Chibs, Opie. How big's the back of this, like, what, Land Rover they're in? Van? It seemed massive, but again, fair play to Kurt Sutter. Actually, I like putting this into the show. I'm not saying, like, you know, back in the year 2010 that these attacks would have been big time, but you know what? Fair play to him. Big Kurt. Would Elgin James have produced this?
Nah, Elgin James would have probably gave us 20 minutes of minor female characters that we do not care about. But the club are discussing it, and they think it has to be Jimmy. Opie's like, it had to be Jimmy who was the shooter. McGee is like, nah, it was the UVF. The Ulster Volunteers are radical loyalists, and that they're trying to send a message. They're trying to get to Fiona so that Jimmy stops his dealing. O'Neill says, yep, it has to be them. They know about Jimmy's recruiting, and they're trying to put an end to it. Jack's a bit confused that they'd be willing to gun down women and children. But O'Neill is like, that was a warning. If they wanted to kill you, you'd be dead, bro. Trust me on that one. McGee's like, he's right. The UVF was using Fiona to send a message to Jimmy. Cease and desist. Clay says, Jesus Christ. And then Chibs says, we aren't in Charming anymore, boys. And I didn't like how Chibs kind of just backed here what McGee and O'Neill were saying. It's like Chibs obviously would know more. He'd be more clued in than Jax and Clay would be, and the rest of the club would be. He knows more about what happens in Northern Ireland and the Divide and all this stuff. And even Chibs must think, oh, hold on, that's a bit random that the UVF would just attack us like that. To me, it was clear this was Jimmy. Yet, for some reason, Chibs is buying the lie that McGee...
Wait, this actually was the UVF? Where have you been?
No, it wasn't.
I was.
Was not?
Not 100% this was the UVF.
Where's your proof? Where?
No, it was.
No, this is O'Neill and this is McGee and O'Neill lying.
No, it ain't. Honestly, it ain't.
Right, okay.
No, I'm not actually joking. This has been confirmed.
By who? By fucking who? Confirmed by who?
Well, why do you think it's them?
It's clearly Jimmy.
How do you know?
How do you know it's not?
I know for a fact it ain't.
I trust Opie. Opie said it had to be Jimmy, and I agree with him.
No, I think it was the Ulster Loyalists. I'm telling. No, it was the UVF.
Why?
Man. Well, hold on.
Like
You're the same guy that thought they actually went to Belfast.
They did.
I did.
So Jack's saying that so they just gunned down women and children.
Well, they do. We live here. We know they do. Come on. No, they did. No, I'm not buying that. It was the UVF.
Nah, this was Jimmy.
I think it makes total sense for it to be Jimmy, but I actually feel like on this occasion that it wasn't. I do feel like it was the UVF rather than the IRA via Jimmy's wing. But you know what? We can.
Funny how the UVF never get involved again then. So they just do this one random shootout and then
it was a cease and desist. It was a warning shot.
Dead on. That's what's Jimmy.
Hold on, right? They've dragged Sam Bell and the IRA into it. Do you want them to dedicate a full episode to the UVF? Come on. I mean, they could if they want to, but... Right, you know what? I think it was legit. You think it was Jimmy. Jimmy! Anyway, let's talk about abortion, because Tara wants an abortion. Not quite yet, though, because Lila wants it one. So she sets up a meeting with Margaret, and Margaret has contacts in a clinic, but Margaret thinks the mother should take a bit of time to think about this. Obviously, Tara takes this as, oh, you're actually thinking about me. But, you know what? As much as we could say this is like filler, this actually like leads to stuff down the line. This, I actually don't mind any of this. I don't look at this and feel, oh, this is god awful. No, I think so.
Yeah, although I think Tara was believing that Margaret just didn't want her having a kid with Jax Taylor. It wasn't really for her sake.
No, I get that, but with Lila, this whole problem with her having an abortion obviously leads to Opie, jobbing her out, going with Lila, and then getting a big divorce, which in my opinion actually just led to death. So I like the fact that this stuff planted the seeds. But guess what? We've got
I don't like it.
What you don't like about it?
I don't think it's fair for them to both go and get secret abortions and not tell Jax and Opie. I think it's a cunt move.
No, it is, but I'm talking about the fucking storyline. I'm not saying abortion's great. Well, what point did I say that? I said in terms of storyline structure.
Well, I don't like it.
Yeah, but Tara doesn't get one.
But she was going to.
But she didn't. Yeah, everybody on planet Earth was going to do a bad thing, right? I know, that's another thing about Lila. She's literally got an abortion here because she wants a few more years in the porn game. That's the fucking lowest of the low.
Yeah, I didn't like it, and I think you can see why. At least be honest with Opie, and why not just say, look, Opie, I would like a family with you, but I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
Could have done that, but no, she's decided to go against him. I think if she explained to Opie and was honest to Opie, I don't think it would have done that much damage to their relationship in season 4, but she wasn't honest, and I think Opie just viewed it as a betrayal, which is fair enough because it was a betrayal in my opinion. I just think that the whole law is fucking flawed because the woman gets to decide whether she wants the kid or she wants to have an abortion. If the woman has a right to decide on whether she aborts the kid or not, then I think the father should have a right to at least decide whether he wants involvement in the kid or not. Like, so if the woman wants to abort the kid, she can. But if the father doesn't want anything to do with the kid, he still has to pay child support and stuff like that. If the woman does want it. How is that fair? Can someone tell me how that's fair?
It's not really fair, but some people do go AWOL.
No, I want to know how it's fair. Someone explain to me how that's fair. If a woman has the right to abort the kid and murder the kid, then shouldn't the father have the right from the get-go to make it clear, look, I have no interest in this child, and if you have it, I want nothing to do with it. And because people, I just don't see how dads that aren't or maybe I shouldn't call them dads. I don't see how men that decide they want nothing to do with their biological kid, right? I can understand why people would call them deadbeat dads and all that stuff because they're not stepping up to the plate. But what if they just decided that they don't want the kid, just like the woman that aborts them decides? The only difference is if a guy decides he doesn't want the child, he can't make it disappear. The woman can. So how's it okay to call dads that don't have anything to do with their kids deadbeat dads and run them down, but women that decide they want to abort their kids, we like, you know, comfort them and praise them and go, oh, it was your choice. Was it not up to a man then if he decides that he doesn't want a kid and he doesn't want anything to do with it?
Our body's our choice.
Tell me where I'm telling lies, CM Punk style.
How do you like me now?
Where was the lie there?
There was no lie. You're right on the money.
No, have I not nailed that completely?
You have.
So there you go.
Nailed up, done up. And yeah, you've hit it on. Staying in Charming Shepherd is given a gun to protect Lumpy. Spoiler alert, guys, he does not do a very good job of this.
Although, to be honest, I mean, what match would he have been against Salazar? So yeah, Hale makes a deal with Salazar. I'll pay you half now and half later. And Salazar comes in with an AK-47.
I actually think this is poor on behalf of Tig.
I think it's poor for, don't get me wrong, yeah, your man, what's his name, prospect?
Shepherd.
I think it's poor for Shepherd, but at the same time, it's like, Miles was there as well. The fact that they're prospects, like, why not let them both stay there?
Yeah.
I don't see the harm.
Fuck, you throw in Filthy Phil, you free of them.
Tig just gives them the gun, like, you shoot it, you own it. It's like, you think I'll have to shoot it? And it's like, I can stay too. It's like, I didn't ask you to stay. And Miles is like, oh, I'm not staying. But yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't know what the threat would be. They were just like sticking someone here. Maybe they thought it wasn't going to be a serious threat. But I mean, did they really trust Shepherd with like a wee handgun and expect him to stand up to the plate?
And Lumpy did say if it wasn't going to be someone like Darby, it was going to be someone worse than Darby. So realistically, I mean, you're giving a prospect who's been in the club, what, all of 3 days?
Plus the fact that it was an overnight thing, you'd think they would have maybe stuck 2 people on it, and one could have took watch, and maybe one could have got some sleep. Or...
No, if this is a fully patched member, or even a competent prospect, Salazar gets killed because he got the jump on him. Like, Salazar had his back to him. He could have shot him, but he bottled it. It's not like Salazar got the jump on him.
True.
So... Again, Lumpy does come out, which Salazar shoots up his wee medals and then cracks him across the skull. It's like, nobody misses with the Mayans. I like this scene, and then he drives off in his big Harley. Then Shepherd goes over to Lumpy, and then he panics and runs out like he shot himself.
This was definitely to get back at Alvarez, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was obviously...
He was like throwing Alvarez under the bus here.
It's also to cause beef between the Suns and the Mayans.
Well, of course, that's literally what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because he still believes he's part of that crew and he was like, oh, you don't mess with us.
No, obviously not. No, it's to cause friction between the newly formed alliance. But even here, when he's like hitting Lumpy, he's like over his body, like nobody messes with the Mayans. This is when Shepherd could have fucking shot him. But then again, the damage has already been done. Lumpy's on the deck, to be honest. But then...
Even if Shepherd shoots him here, like, are Tig and... is Tig and Kozik not going to be asking, like, why the hell did you wait till Lumpy was beaten to fucking death until you done something? It's like, you know, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Shepherd just completely shot himself. He decided that this life ain't for him.
I guess it would have been a better alternative than Lumpy dying, Salazar getting away, and then Shepherd just leaving the club.
He drove back to the clubhouse and he bit strange. He just like took his cut off and he left the gun behind. Then he drove off on his bike. You'd think he would have just left from the scene straight away. But yeah, that's Shepard done. Shepard hands in his patch. Shepard is no more.
Yep, literally not in that many episodes, man. And you know what? As like poor as you could say the character is, I mean, a couple of memorable scenes in there. Pretty decent scene where he goes out on.
Yep.
Bottling it for Salazar. Talking of bottling it, we have got some bare knuckle boxing in the Sam Bell compound. And we have got O'Neill battering some no name, and then he's like, who's next? Who's next? Jack's like, me. He's like,
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming, come on ahead. Prince Charming. Let's go, brother. Jax beats O'Neill here. Is it a surprise at this point?
I guess O'Neill was already fighting multiple fights and stuff, so I mean, he was worn down.
I'd like to have seen like Opie in here, but I guess Opie's just too, I don't know, too serious. What about Bobby? Could Bobby fucking last in here?
Bobby would get his ass kicked. We never really see Bobby in a fight, do we?
Not really, no.
There's
He probably could beat up like a Georgie Caruso sort of guy.
There's probably good reason for this. Bobby never gets his fat ass involved in fights.
Yeah, literally, Jax defeats Liam O'Neill, damn it. And as he's about to get a wee shower or a bath, who comes out the steps? None other than Father Ashby. And I think you could almost see like a bit of like, not disdain, but like the priest wasn't exactly impressed seeing Jax here with his shirt off all sweaty, wasn't he not? Which is a first for a priest. But I feel like he looked at him like...
Well, if Jax was like 15, 20 years younger, he'd have probably been loving it, but...
No, but I think he looked at him here like...
You're really JT's son.
Again, has Jax really got his priorities right? I know we talked about it earlier, but here he is having a fucking boxing match, and his son's here.
I guess you could argue he's taking out his frustrations on O'Neill, but... Nah, for me, this is bullshit. As soon as SAMCRO fucking got into Belfast, they should have been on the look for Abel.
You're right, but I guess they need it, Kellen. Kellen explains to Jax the whole situation. Some people are confused by this, right? But pretty much, Jimmy plans on ending the ongoing and highly lucrative gun-running relationship with his sons in order to pocket a bigger profit for himself. And therefore, the Army Council have come to the conclusion that Jimmy has no longer got the best interests of the real IRA at heart. And in turn, Jackie boy, if you kill Jimmy, then we will let Abel go back to his daddy, because we can't do it, but every Irishman would understand the pain of a father looking for his son. I feel like he does a pretty good job of explaining it, because I feel like the water has been muddy up to this point, like about what is the true intentions of like what the fuck's going on here.
I mean, he does a good job, but essentially he's fucking blackmailing him. He knows where his son is, and he's not willing to give the location. For me, Jackson should have battered him right there.
Yes, but not the problem is here. I think it's a pretty simple request, because you've got what they think, they've got the backing of SAMCRO, you've got the real IRA giving the backing, you've got Sam Bell, you think are in your corner, in reality McGee and O'Neill are in the corner of Jimmy. But the only problem is the whole deal with Stall hinges on the fact you need to keep Jimmy alive. If they didn't need to keep Jimmy alive, then killing him would be a lot easier, rather than here, we need to capture him and get him back to the States sort of deal. That's the problem.
And like, if Sam Bell know that Jimmy is like breaking bad from the IRA, like, don't they think they're backing the wrong horse?
But they're getting rich from it. It's all about the money, brother, as McGee would tell Clay. But guess what?
Yeah, but they're not putting themselves in danger. Sam Bell. They don't want to make enemies of the IRA, do they?
That's the thing. Like, what was McGee's end plan? I mean, I guess he was going to cash out after a few months of this. But then we do see an American...
If Jimmy betrays the IRA, like, how does he survive? You could say he could stay, say, stateside, but... I mean, what about his connections? What about getting the guns from Belfast too?
Exactly, man.
Would the IRA just allow Jimmy to like take their gun trade away from them?
Well, I think what the problem was with Jimmy, I think the real IRA would still be there, but they just wouldn't be making as much money.
You say that Sam Bell's getting rich? But
no.
Father Ashby...
O'Neill and McGee are getting rich. I didn't say Sam Bell.
But... Well, no, first of all, you did actually, and that's alright, but you did say Sam Bell. But if Jimmy's trying to do away with Sam Bell, if Jimmy's trying to set up his own little army full of kids, it's like, doesn't McGee and O'Neill go, well, hold on here, we're going to be cut out of this fucking deal, so how are we going to get rich?
Because Because those two are making money because look. Do you see that bloody envelope of cash O'Neill had? That wasn't his wee gun shipment. That was because.
And he's going to still get that when Jimmy says to Sam Bell, Serenata.
So hold on. See when Clay goes to McGee, he's like, oh, so why'd you do it, brother? He's like, it was all about the money, brother. Well, so McGee was obviously getting rich with it. He wasn't just doing it because you're back down.
But do you think McGee knows Jimmy's plan?
I'd say O'Neill would know more than McGee.
But what if Jimmy's cutting Sam Bell out? What is McGee getting paid for? If Sam Bell are not running protection or doing anything for Jimmy, why the fuck would they be making money off Jimmy? Think of it logically. Because of nothing. Because of absolutely nothing. If Jimmy's cutting Sam Bell out the equation, why the fuck would McGee be getting paid?
No, because McGee and O'Neill have been getting paid for the information they've been feeding SAMCRO and shit like that.
Aye, but Fella Ashby's saying that Jimmy's going to cut. His plan is to cut Sam Bell out and go into business for himself.
Well, who knows, man?
So how's McGee going to make money if Jimmy phones him up?
We've never been in the circle, Jackson.
Never have been, never will be.
Exactly. So there you go.
Sam Bell are fucking dilute. They don't know shit. They're getting played by Jimmy.
Who knows? You know what, guys? We're gonna get Abel back. Damn it! We have to rate it out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8. 8 for episode 8.
I'll get an 8 as well. Enjoyed it. Nice to see the club sit down in Northern Ireland.
Damn it! Yeah, they got their book from Stranraer. I'd like to see a few wee clips of them riding through Manchester and Stranraer.
No,
not really. That would.
Well, I mean, I would like, but it'd be filler, wouldn't it? It'd just be uncalled for. Fuck me.
It would have been uncalled.
Like you want to see them drive past every signpost? Oh look, there's a Manchester post. Oh, there's a Stranraer post. I mean, come on.
Why not? I'd mark it.
Oh, they just drove past Greg's.
I think we'll do this probably at the end of this season, ranking each Belfast episode. But would you say this is one of the better ones, even though there's only 4?
Only 4, brother. Possibly. We'll have to rewatch them all and then we'll make an opinion on that.
Possibly, guys. But up next, we have got episode 9, Tourists. We're heading to Dunglow, which we thought was a fictional location. Turns out it's actually pretty real. But until then, guys, peace. Just before we go though, quote of the episode belongs to Chibs, dirty loyalist bastard. There's a few belters in this episode, but you know what? We're going to go with this one. And then moving on, we've got Liam O'Neill picking up an MVP. You hear, might be the only time he picks up an MVP, guys. But anyway, that is going to be it for this Sons of Anarchy episode. It is an 8 out of 10. And until the next one, I'm expecting a barn bomb in Dunglow, baby.